Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Good. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, you too. It's been too long.
Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I did an interview with your husband not too long ago, and I'm really excited about, this interview with you because we don't have as many women as many women that we are interviewing, and I think you're going to bring a great perspective to everything that we're trying to learn and educate these kids on. So,
Okay.
um,
No
you
pressure.
know, first, why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, you know?
Okay. I started running really in junior high, just track, which was obviously more casual. We would always have field day in fifth and sixth grade, and we had to run a mile around the school, the perimeter of the school, and that was always I couldn't wait for that event. That's kind of when I started enjoying running. I think I ran like 5:30 for the mile or something as a fifth grader. Nothing super impressive or anything, but and then junior high just did it because it was the cool thing to do was run track and be with your friends, and that's kind of how even in high school because I played volleyball, I played basketball. I had no intentions of running track. And then one day my track coach came into basketball practice and said, "Hey, why don't you come out for track?" And I didn't really want to, but then all my friends were doing it, so I was like, you don't ever want to do that usually, but yeah, no. So then I just started running because my friends were, and I ended up being good at it. So that's kind of how I started. So it was, it's not like I knew I was going to be a runner. It just kind of happened.
Just kind of happened. So
Yeah.
when you say good at it, how good? Obviously if you ran 5:30 as you said sixth grader,
Yeah,
you
fifth or
said
sixth grade, I think something like that.
that's still pretty impressive, especially for not training. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people would love to run that time. So what kind of accomplishments did you get to like in high school and then collegiately?
Yeah, so my freshman year in high school was the start. I was kind of lucked out because when we had a great track team, girls team. We won four conference championships 4 years in a row when I was there. So it was fun to be a part of that. We had a really good group of girls. And my freshman year, I made the state meet in the 800, and I finished fourth. And I mean, I didn't even think I'd make it, but it was an accomplishment just to make it. I think I didn't win the district, but I won the regional to qualify for the state, and then ended up coming in fourth. But it was cool because it was the final show at the shoe
Oh yeah.
before they moved to Welcome Stadium. So that was fun, and as a naive freshman, I took the lead with like 600 to go, and just totally died and held on for fourth. And I spent the next half hour with my head in a garbage can, just throwing up because I just gave it everything I had. But then after that, then I was like, okay, I made it to the state meet my freshman year. What can I do the following year? So I think my sophomore through senior year in high school, I won the 800 conference, district, and regional. I think if I remember right, the next 3 years, and then made it to the state meet. My sophomore year, I came in third. So I was like, okay. And then my junior year, I'll be second, and my senior year, I'll be first. And then my junior and senior year, I won both.
Oh, nice.
So it was back-to-back state titles, and ran 2:10 was my PR at the state meet.
That's great. How about collegiately?
So then, I had no desire to run in college. I was like, it's too much work, not going to do it. But then the letters started coming in, and I realized I could get my education paid for. So I took a bunch of visits and then ended up deciding to go to Michigan. So I was lucky that I got a full ride. And I went there knowing I wasn't going to be the best because everyone's a state champion at Michigan. And everyone was faster than me. I wasn't going to be the fastest person. And I kind of like that because I knew I could get better. And I knew I had a lot more in me because I didn't really, my coach did not push me to my limits in high school because he didn't want me to burn out, which I was very thankful of. And yeah, so at Michigan, I ran the 800 and then moved up to the 15. But I'm a middle distance girl at heart, and the 15, it was fun, but it wasn't my forte. And so I got down to 207 in the 8, 447 in the mile. I think I ran 420. I don't know what I ran the 15. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, college for me, I know I had more in me. I just didn't get there. But still, I mean, I was a Big Ten champ. I was on NCAA distance medley relay team that we won. We won 12 Big Ten championships between cross country, indoor and outdoor track. I was all region in cross country, which I never thought I'd be because that's really far for me, that distance. But I learned to run it well for me and learned to enjoy it. So it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of success, and it was fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, and couple things I want to touch on. One is you said that college was going to be too much hard work for you, and I know you. I can't believe that because you from what I know of you, I lived with you and Nate, and I saw you train and just run after you were done, and you were a hard worker. I mean, that was just something that I always felt was very obvious about you. So it kind of surprises me you say, yeah, I thought it would be too much hard work, but maybe things change.
Yeah, no, I guess I didn't think, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know if I could run like that much because all the coaches, of course, wanted me to move up from 800 to 1500 in cross country. Okay. I didn't run cross country in high school. So I knew that was part of the deal. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that because I've run 20 miles a week in high school. Maybe I ran 25 miles a week. My longest run was 4 miles. So I knew I'd have to go. I think I might have done a couple, maybe 55, 60 miles a week during cross country, but I mean, I did do 14-mile long runs or 13-mile long runs, but that's a lot for a middle distance girl. So yeah. I kind of, that's just what was in my head. But then I thought, I might as well, I have this opportunity, might as well take the chance and see what happens. And I'm glad I did because there's, obviously, running in college is just so special to be able to wear. Well, you wore the O, but the black M on your chest and representing your school.
Yeah. The whole rival thing. Yeah. So what you're saying is, and I think this is going to relate to a lot of people out there, a lot of our audience. You felt like you were coming into it from the the low side of things, maybe the 800-meter side of things, and I don't want to call it fear, but maybe that's a good word. The fear of the unknown, the fear of, well, what's that going to be like, that step up? And so I'm gonna change the format here, and I just want to know, hey, what is that? You went through that fear of the unknown, and you did it, and you stepped up, and look at what happened. Tell those athletes out there that are worried about that, and they're saying, it's just too much for me. I want to hear it from you, man. Tell them again, like, hey, look at me, because how quickly did you get over that,
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge transition because you go, like, my mom and dad dropped me off for the preseason cross country camp, and we went up north, northern Michigan, and it was 10 days of running and eating and sleeping, and that was it. And every day we had 2 a day, so which I wasn't used to that. But my high school coach always said, your body is a giant organism and you can train it to do many things. And so it didn't like my freshman year, of course, it's a transition because I wasn't used to the mileage and the intensity, but you have, I had a group of there was 30 of us. And so you kind of feed off the energy of each other. And, I wasn't the best, I wasn't the worst, but you kind of just work with each other to get there, because you all have one common goal, which is to, win the Big Ten title or make it to regionals or, place at nationals. So, yeah, I think, and a lot of it was like just listening to your body. And if like, hey, you're getting too tired to run down, or if things are hurting that shouldn't be, you just kind of got to stand up for yourself and take a step back and, talk to your coach and maybe try to make some adjustments there with the training, because you want to be able to sustain for 3 seasons, which, I only ran 2 seasons. I ran indoor, which was really only 6 weeks long in Ohio, and then outdoor. So I didn't, I was never used to running 3 full seasons where you get what, a week off maybe in between, and that's it. So, but yeah, I mean, it didn't take me too long. I think a lot of it too was because my high school coach didn't overtrain me, so I had a lot in me. Like, he never pushed me. I always had more. So I think that really, really helped.
You sound like my wife. The story you told me reminds me exactly. She was an 800-meter girl in high school, and when she went to Michigan State, they said, well, now you're going to run cross country. And so they did the same thing. They went to Northern Michigan for a cross country camp, and she said the first thing they did was a hill repeat workout, and she got to the top of the hill and stopped, and everyone was like, what are you doing? She's like, I thought we were done. Like, no, this just how this is the first
Right.
one.
Right.
But so this is an appropriate question for you, because you're coming from the low side, you're moving up, doing cross, that is. So did they bring you along with any other kind of cross training or anything like that, or did you just stick to the running and work your way up that way? If you did do cross country,
Yeah, I just
if you
stuck
did
to the
do any
running.
cross
Yeah.
training, I'm sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I just stuck to I just stuck to the running. I hated cross training. I think it's boring. And the only thing that like would even get me in shape would be running anyway. I did lift, and even in high school, because my parents owned a health club, so I worked there and was always there. So I would lift 2 to 3 times a week in high school, and then only twice in college, because we had the 2-a-days and everything. Yeah, no, I didn't do cross training unless I was injured. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think, especially if you're feeling tired, to take the weight off your legs and everything, spin or go on the elliptical or elliptigo or whatever you have. I think is always good to kind of gives you a mental break too from running, which is always nice if you
Did
can need
other
that.
people, at University of Michigan, did they do cross training?
Some of them would swim in the mornings instead of run or do aqua jogging. I hated the pool, so I didn't do that. I would just rather just go run 2 miles or 3 miles or whatever it was.
So it's kind of a personal preference then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So I want to circle back to, you talked about being a part of that NCAA championship team in the DMR,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm obsessed with winning as a team and the whole team thing. Like, I always wanted to win a big title as part of a relay team or something like that. I just, to me, that just seemed like a lot of fun. Can you tell us a little bit about like how that felt to you versus winning as an individual? That's a lot of fun, and you get a lot of pleasure and joy out of that. But I think there's something different about winning as a team. What do you think?
Yeah, it was really fun. And my coach, Mike McGuire, so he always would calculate and figure things out. And, if he knew like where we could be and whatever. I don't think we were ranked. I think maybe we were ranked 5th going in, or maybe, I can't remember. But we knew we had the potential to win that relay if the first 3 legs put our anchor, who was Lindsay Gallo, if we put her in a good position, she could outkick and run with the best milers on the end of that at the end of that relay. So we just had to put ourselves in a good position, and we all did. And it was just exciting because we knew I think with a quarter mile to go, Gallo kind of took off and kicked it in. But it's just so much. It is a lot more fun to win, with your teammates. Even the Big Ten championships, cross country, indoor, outdoor. I mean, we won a triple crown one year. It's just the energy is more, and you're like, you don't want to let your teammates down. And I think a lot of people, especially at those meets, kind of they don't want to let their teammates down, so they give more and they really push themselves more. And then usually that meant, hey, we had a couple individual champions out of it because of that. But yeah, it's just it is so much fun. I mean, I look back on I have 12. Tease Nate about this because I have more rings than he does. 12 Big Ten rings. And it's cool to like remember all that. And we at Michigan, we had a target on our back on every Big Ten championship because we won so many. And 12 in the 5 years I was there, it was pretty remarkable, and it was really fun to experience that with everybody.
Yeah, and that rolls into kind of my next question was, you guys had that dynasty. You won 12 conference titles. That's impressive. What was that team culture like? What made that team culture so special and so strong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had the head coach Henry. He would always make it a point. We'd have team meetings, so it wasn't like, even though the distance girls practiced together and the sprinters and throwers, they all had their own separate groups, but we always had team meetings. We always had we would draw a name out of a hat and have a buddy for the weekend where we would give them a gift or something outside their hotel room when we were traveling. So he made it a point that we got to know each other than the people we were training with every day. Because a lot of times, with our class schedules and training schedules, we didn't always see each other. So, but they made it, Coach Henry made it a point that we did spend some time together, and like during practice, after practice. So, we got to know each other. And after every meet, every person had, well, not every person, but if you could, you had to call out someone who wasn't in your event group, and recognize them for what they did during that meet. So that really helped people, oh, wow, she threw a PR and she jumped this high this time. So it was we had a really good family, I would call it, when I was there. And I think he still does that today, and it's great. You see it in all the pictures and social media posts, and I really like that about the program.
Yeah, and that would take a lot of work as a head coach to do that. The one thing I noticed when I went up there was, you walk down into there's that hallway where the locker rooms were, and the whole wall, and I mean the entire wall, was covered with your guys's, not just yours, but the women's and the men's, but all of the kind of the major accomplishments, the Big Ten titles, I think it was, if I remember, maybe the NCAA All-American, stuff like that. And I think, I was so impressed with that. I was kind of like, wow, when you put that out in front and people can see it, they feel like they're a part of greatness, and you can't help but rise up to it. I feel like you either had the choice, you either rise up or you leave, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I was really impressed with you guys there. I thought that was great. Like I said, I've been talking because I got the chance to be up there with you guys, and I was not there when you were training, but again, you said it's the same coach, and I saw some of the women work out because we were being there on the track, and the workouts they were doing were crazy impressive. And so, I want to ask you, were there ever workouts that you were just scared to death to do because you knew it was going to hurt so bad?
Oh, I hated the Michigan.
The Michigan?
Yeah, and we did a different version than the men's team, obviously, but we would do, it would be a 4-8, was it? Yeah, a 4-8-12. And in between, we'd go out on the road and do I think it was a 2K loop around the stadium. But I hated it. I never finished one until my senior year, and that was my 5th year. I mean, I couldn't finish them. It was just a big sprint, I felt like, and I just could never get around to finally doing. And then I finally did one. I finished one, and it was cool to actually finish one and be like, wow, I did all the intervals. I like hit the times I was supposed to hit. But that was a tough one. I hated it.
Yeah, was it just mentally tough, do you think? More so, just knowing what you had to do, or was it just
Yeah.
like the
Oh yeah, for
grind?
sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, as physically draining as it was mentally draining too. But then, like I said, all the girls were, state champs and national qualifiers in high school, and literally every workout was a race. And it takes a while to get used to that. But sometimes I'm just like, I just can't kick anymore. Like, I'll kick on the last interval, I can't kick on the third one. Like, you just can't.
That workout, I mean, I did the men's version of it, and it was pretty brutal. So
Yeah, yeah.
I can kind of, I get the feeling. Um, what advice, what kind of advice would you give to, high school milers, or just, honestly, just any runner, anyone that's trying to make it happen, trying to keep it going? Maybe if they're down on their luck. I mean, right now we're going through the
Right.
COVID situation, and I think advice to keep people going is what really is important, and what it's part of the reason we're doing this in the first place. So let's hear your advice.
I think it's important to have fun. As soon as you start not having fun, then it becomes a job and a chore, and you're never going to get to where you want to be. I think that'll drag you down mentally, and then physically you'll start feeling drained. So if you're not having fun, figure out why you're not having fun and take a step back. Surround yourself with people who are having fun. Like, well, obviously within 6 feet of each other during this time, but I mean, whenever you get back to it. But I think having fun is the most important. I never had more fun. High school for me was so much fun. I had a lot of fun in college too. At the end, I was getting really tired though. 5 years, 3 seasons is a long time. But yeah, I mean, it's just have fun. And then also think too, there's someone always training more than you are. Like, you got to think that. Even they might not be, but you have to think that someone else is training harder than you, and you want to train harder than everybody else. So you just got to keep going and pushing. And if you're just starting out, little goals, obviously, don't like reach for the stars right away, because you don't want to completely get discouraged if you don't meet one of your smallest goals, and then just work your way up. Yeah, have fun, train hard, and always think that someone's out there training harder than you, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's great. Definitely great advice. I want to bring up a memory that I have. I had the pleasure of living with you guys, and Nate and I used to do morning runs from your house.
Yeah.
And you're talking about having fun. I hated those morning runs, and let me tell you why. I don't know if I ever told you this. The reason
I
I hate
hated
them,
it too.
well, I hated them because you always started behind us or right with us,
Yeah.
and that meant that I couldn't slack. And
Oh.
I would look back like every, I don't know, 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, she's still right on her heels. You know what I mean? And for me, I mean, those morning runs, they were just so brutal because I was always so sore from the training anyways, and I just wanted to get out there and flop it over. So thanks for making it not fun for me.
No, those I know. Well, I still, even to this day, when I run with Nate, and now the kids are biking with us, and we'll run together. But he still has to half step me, and it drives me nuts. And I'm like, and he goes, I don't know why you're not running next to me. You're running the same pace. You're just a half step behind me. I was like, no, I don't need to run any faster right now. And that's what I felt like on those morning runs. So I was struggling too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Nate half stepping, I remember a time down in Florida when we were supposed to go out for an easy run, and we ended up running like 5:30 pace. And he looks at me and he said, "Dude, why are you pushing the pace?" And I looked at him and I said, "I'm trying to keep up with you."
Oh no, he's the one who does it. It's not you.
Well, thanks for making me feel better about that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I just got to say, again, I appreciate, the fact that you let me live with you guys, and that was a lot of fun. That was a great time of my life.
Oh
Even
yeah. No, for
other than that morning run, it was fun.
right.
But I appreciate it. You're a true inspiration. You've had a great career, and I appreciate you getting on here to try to help motivate, the future generations of this sport. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, no, thanks. Yeah. You were great to live with. You were like the best roommate.
Now
I didn't
you're
really
not.
have to clean up after you.
You're just lying now. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, thanks. Tell Kelly and the kids hi.
Oh, I will. Absolutely. We'll talk to you later. All
Okay, bye.
right. Bye.